Some crops can be devastated by frosts. Often vineyard and orchard growers use frost protection to keep plant temperatures above freezing point, with varying degrees of effectiveness and operational issues.
In the last 10 years, I've been involved with growing blackcurrants in Canterbury here. We bought in an area in Leeston, theoretically without frosts, not a lot of frosts. 6 years after we were going was a very, very sound business. On 100 hectares, 3 helicopters going, 50, 60 grand a year in costs. -3 degrees in November wiped us out. You know, we lost $500,000 worth of crop overnight. And it's devastating. You do everything you think you can, and it's just devastating. You're sitting there looking at each other after the first event, a group of us, and we were talking with Fred Phillips at the same time, looking at options. Water was going to cost us more to put water on than the farm was worth. Windmills will only do -1, -2 degrees. They bring the inversion layer down. You have to have an inversion layer for helicopters and wind machines. You don't often have a good inversion layer. Sometimes you have none. I started talking with the manager and we got Fred Phillips involved, my long-time ag engineering colleague, and we started to look at other options. What we did is we took diesel burners, sucked up that warm air, the top then rotated, driven off the hydraulics of the tractor, and put warm air over the blackcurrants.
The machine is designed to heat the air, move that air out across the crop and provide a warm blanket to protect the berries and the young shoots of the grapevines. It's not quite like a barbecue burner, it's a bit more sophisticated than that, but the combination of the heat going in after the fan is also important because the fan performs most efficiently pumping cold air, so we heat the air after it's been through the fan. The machine has a turret, so we bend the air through 90 degrees or just over 90 degrees, and that turret rotates, and the rotation time's quite critical. We try to keep it around 3 minutes or slightly less. The rotation is such that if it rotates uniformly in a circle, we get a circle of warm air going out across the crop. Now, not many crops have circular configurations, so with this machine, we can vary the speed within the rotation so that on the longer dimensions of the block, we slow the rotation down a little bit, and on the shorter dimensions, we speed it up a little bit so that we get a more uniform heat coverage. Well, we can see that the frost got down to 1 degree at about 2 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
And the machine switched on, and it's maintained that temperature just above 0 degrees right through until 7 o'clock.
Right.
Knowing when to turn the machine on and off is very important in frost protection. So we have a whole range of thermometers spread through the block, and we monitor those through the Harvest electronic system. They report in every minute, and there is an alarm that goes off. The cell phone rings to say when the temperature gets down to 1 degree, and that's when we start the machine. And that equipment is really important, not only just to give us the start point, but for us to be able to monitor the effectiveness of the machine performance, where we can safely cover 15 hectares and in some cases up to 20.
Waipara has a significant issue with frost during the spring growing season. We have used a number of different methods in the past, including heat and helicopters. I was talking to Bruce probably 2 to 3 years ago, and he discussed the fact that they were working on the prototype heat ranger. And after some further conversations, we agreed to do a trial with them. We were frosted in 2014, minimal damage, but since we've been using the heat ranger, the areas that we got frosted have not been damaged subsequently. The considerations at the price of the machine would be, is it going to be optimal for your vineyard situation? One of the other methods you can use is sprinklers and water, but that comes down to water availability, and you need to store a lot of water to be able to do that.
We're now very comfortable that we can protect to -1, -2, -3 degrees at least for 7 hours because that's what we did here last year. We protected this entire orchard with this one machine sitting pretty much where it is. This is the first in the world. This machine is unique. Nobody else has been able to achieve what we've achieved here. So we're pretty proud of that. We're very cost effective in that we can protect against very severe frosts. This tractor powered machine that we have here is $180,000. That includes the machine, the big bank of LPG gas bottles that provide the heat, and $10,000 worth of harvest equipment to monitor what's happening down the orchards. The motorised model, which can be fully automated, that's $200,000. It's also important to compare that price with the alternatives. That's half the price of water. Wind machines will do, they say they can do 6 hectares. Well, our 20 hectares, that's 3 and a bit wind machines. We're very cost competitive with that. And with helicopters, people say you don't need any capital. Well, you don't, but the helicopter cost is $1,000 per hectare per night. The operating cost here for our machine is $50 to $100 per hectare per night. It's nothing. That's not much more than the cost of running your wind machines. None of them put out any heat, and that's the key thing. We are putting out warm air over the top of the crop.